to our second GPWomeN PCCW speaker series of the year. This one is titled Procrastination, Understanding What Truly Gets in Your Way, with Leslie Josel. She's a Cornell alumna who is an academic and life coach for students. Leslie is an award-winning entrepreneur and founder of Order Out of Chaos, which is an organization that was inspired by Leslie's efforts to help her son after he was diagnosed with ADHD. She's also the creator of a planner that helps students master time management skills and an internationally acclaimed speaker on topics spanning from time management to addressing chronic disorganization and hoarding issues. Leslie has been named as one of the top 10 time management experts in the world by Global Gurus. So let's give a warm welcome to Leslie Josel.
Give me 1 second just to get organized. How funny is that? Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me if I speak like this? Because I am really loud. All right, few things. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me. Many moons ago, when Cornell didn't look like this, I was here as an undergrad, and if anyone had ever told me, and I have come back here on occasion to speak, and I do speak in the New York area for Cornell, but and I get to do some pretty amazing things in my world, but there's nothing like coming back to your alma mater and getting to stand in front of students and talk. There just isn't, so I have to thank you for that. Okay, I have a few housekeeping rules of my own to chat with you about, and then we're going to get into the good stuff. Here's the thing, I'm not about to spend my time telling you my story, but I got to tell you, it's a really good one. It is. I took a situation 15 years ago that was lemons, and I made lemonade out of it. Short story, we are a global company. We have 70,000 people that come to Order Out of Chaos on a daily basis for workshops, webinars, products, programs, coaching, you name it. Yes?
So, could you actually use a microphone?
Okay. Oh, I didn't, all right. I'm a walker though, do you know what I mean? So we'll see if we can do both. How's that? So here's what I do. Our company is to help students be successful in learning and in life. We make everything we do for students free to them. Not to parents, but to students. So feel free to go on our site, look around. If there's something that interests you, a video, a webinar, you just email us, we will get you in, you do not have to pay. Okay, is everybody okay with that? Okay, number 2. Where are my slides today? If you go on our site, you're going to see this, all right? If you go under About, it will say Speaking Engagements. You can click on it, it will say Presentation at Cornell, and it will say View Presentation Slides. You can download them, share them, they are there for you. They will be there for 48 hours, and then they will be gone. So I know that I need to look at things more than once, here we go, to truly absorb information, so they are there for you as well. Okay, number 3, and then we're done. I work with students that have attention deficits, learning issues, hard to sustain effort, focus, you name it. You will not insult me if you need to get up, if you need to lie on the floor, if you need to walk around. There is something for some of you, and I know it, and I'm not even going to ask who it is, that sitting in a chair right now for the next hour is killing you. So if you need to get up, stand by the wall, sit over here, I could give a you-know-what. So you will not, no, this is really important, all right? Because I know my audience, all right? I am used to speaking where people are up and down and lying and doing. I don't care. So feel free to do what you need to do to absorb information. All right. If we're good, we're going to go. So that's it for me. Let's get going. Okay. We can go home now. I'm done. Everyone procrastinates. Do you feel better? It's what you do with it that makes a difference. But you're not alone. And we're going to kind of go through all this. We're going to talk about the differences. We're going to talk about the scale of it. We're going to talk about what really makes you procrastinate. So I just wanted to do that because I thought, we can lighten the mood a little bit. I think you kind of get the gist too that I'm a very casual speaker, and this is a fun. I know this sounds funny, but this is not. I know a lot of you do really, really intense work. This is not it. So we're gonna have some fun. Okay, so let's just do, because I know I like a stat or two every now and then. Do you know what I mean? Over 50% of the population has a chronic problem. Chronic is the key word here. What that means is that it truly affects an individual socially, emotionally, physically, financially. It really is a detriment to their well-being. Okay, that's the word chronic. But not everybody is a chronic procrastinator. It gets worse as we get older. Meaning when you're little, there's someone else telling you where to go, what to do, how to do it. Give you rubrics, tell you that your outline is due on Monday, right? Your 5 citations are due on Wednesday. As you get older, that scaffolding kind of goes away and you have to fly on your own. That is a sobering number. Now, I should have said this. I write books, and I just wrote my 3rd book, which is on procrastination for college students. It'll be out August 2020, just thought I'd say. 80 to 95% of you procrastinate in some capacity, right? But I don't think that number is so, right? I don't know, didn't really bother me. Like someone said, oh my God, that's such a big number. I'm like, no, it's not. Because we all procrastinate on something, whether it's homework or a paper or a lab that's due or a report. It's all good. But here's my question to all of you. What is procrastination? What is it? What is the definition? I'm also a girl that loves a good definition. Now, in my research, I've seen 1,000 definitions. This one, though, is gold. And I'm going to explain to you why. The true act of procrastinating is the act of putting something off despite knowing. And there's your operative word there. It's knowing. There are times when we all go, oh, I know I'm being videoed. I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a pouty mouth. And I promise you I will keep it in check. We have that OSH blank blank moment because we really didn't know. There are times when we just don't know. We forget, it's not in our eye line. But true procrastination is knowing that if we don't do something, there is a consequence to our actions. And yet, we still procrastinate. So riddle me this. Why, if we know that there is a whole parade of horribles gonna go marching by, have you guys ever heard that expression, the parade of horribles? Okay, that's something I use with my students. It's like one thing happens, it's like that domino effect, right? One thing happens and then there's just a continuousness of things happening after. It's the parade of horribles. They just keep, marching down Main Street. So if you know that something is gonna happen, that you're going to suffer a major consequence, then why are we procrastinating? You guys are smart people. So here's some insight. Now, interestingly, all of my insight comes from my students. I've been at this for 16 years. I predominantly work with college students. So basically, this is what you guys are telling me. Getting started, okay, is too difficult. The operative word here is started. I call this the definition of two, T-O-O. It's too much, it's too big, it's too vague. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna call anybody out. I would never do that. But I will bet dollars to donuts. By the time I'm finished doing this, every single one of you is gonna find something on one of these slides and you're gonna be like, she's in my head. How does she know me? Because I know. How do I know? I know. Do the maths. 16 years, thousands of students. I've heard everything. But some of them are really interesting. This one is just the two. It's too much to start. It's too overwhelming. It's too vague. I don't know where to start. So if you don't know, there's going to be no activation. Am I right? No structure or immediacy. If you're not on a clock or a calendar, if there is not a deadline right in front of your face, there is just no initiating, right? You just can't muster that energy to get going. And maybe it's not an assignment. Maybe you want to build a garden. Maybe you want to plan a trip. It's not something you have to do. So it's not on your clock. It's not right here. You're not going to do it. So far, so good? I'm assuming we're seeing some of us in these. This is my favorite because we don't talk about this one. Anyone hear about decision fatigue? Yeah, it's a biggie. So, too many decisions. And you don't even realize how many decisions you make a day. So, I didn't really go into the science here because I knew what the group I was up against. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to bring science to you guys. You're way smarter than me. But everything we are talking about here is brain-based behavior. It's your executive functions. So what I want you to picture is a really cool, funky-looking brain, right? A little dude, looks like a brain, he's got some eyes, and he's got dumbbells. And he's pushing up 5-pound weights. And he's like, I can do 5 pounds. 5 pounds, no problem. Yeah, okay, give me back those 5, and now let me give you 10. He can't push up those 10. It's too taxing on his brain. That's decision fatigue. So think about how many decisions you guys make every single day in work, in your labs, whatever it is. So my funny for me is I run a business. I have 8 employees. I travel, I speak, I write, I have kids, all of that. My husband walks in the door at night and goes, what do you want for dinner? And you know what I do? I yell at him. Why? I can't make that decision. I've made so many decisions all day, it's too much. Now, it's because he asked me an open-ended question. If he had said to me, honey, do you want salmon or pasta? I probably could answer that a lot better because that's the 5-pound weight. What do I want to eat? It's too big, too broad. Oh, by the way, too much. Make sense? Think about it. You want to declutter your closet. The weather's icky. I know there are some guys in the room, but decluttering is my thing. Okay, I want to switch over my closet. Okay, I got 3 hours. I'm rocking and rolling. I didn't wear that. I don't want that. We can get rid of it, donate, sell, give to my sister. 3 hours later, you're like, oh my God, I can't make another decision. I'm just keeping everything. See what happens? That's your decision fatigue. There's going to be no activation. You're going to slam that door and go get a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, and that's the end of that. I know. No understanding. Ooh, this is a goodie too. Why? Because I know all of you in this room are really good at making your to-do list. I gotta do this and I gotta do that. That's great, but do you understand what is being asked of you to do? I ask that of my students all the time. I never say to them, what do you have to do? I want to know, do you understand what it is you're being asked? Now, I know you are a graduate and masters and PhDs, but think about high school. When you were in social studies class and your homework assignment for the night was to continue studying. What the hell does that mean? And is that going to happen? No, it's not. So I always say to even my students, do you know what, we're going to talk a little bit about this. Do you know what done looks like? Do you understand what is being asked of you? It's a great question. Write it down. I'm bossy also, just so you know. Okay. Anybody want to? This comes from you guys. It's boring. It's a waste of time, and you just don't give a crap. Sorry, that comes from, these are literally quotes from kids. So I apologize if that offends anybody. I don't mean to offend, but this is legitimate what I hear. You don't care. So how hard is it to really activate when you just don't, you know?
But to me it sounds like there's something else here. Because if it was too boring, then we wouldn't have done it in the first place.
Maybe.
It sounds like it's either too difficult or just not challenging enough.
No. Maybe laundry is your thing.
Okay.
We'll talk about that actually in a minute. Okay, couple more. You have no time sense. Now, I could have talked all day about time management. That is my jam. That is my thing. But we're only going to touch on it a little bit today. But if you do not know how long something takes you to do, if you have no sense of a time horizon, if you do not know what future awareness is and cannot do it, and we were going to talk about that, then you're going to be the one who's going to say on Sunday, oh, no problem, I can write a 15-page lab report tomorrow. No problem. No, you can't.
You
really need to have some type of time sense. And then the one that I did not mention, which we are going to talk about, is the one that is as simple as anything, and that is your distraction. And that is your phones. Okay? I didn't even make a slide because you all know that that is probably one of your biggest distractions, and we're going to talk about that too. Okay, so here's my bottom line. If you thought you were going to come here today and have me tell you all these awesome like productivity hacks and what the newest, greatest, latest app is and go buy my planner, you're wrong. You're dead wrong. Why? Because unless you guys get crystal clear and connect the dots to why you procrastinate, what it is that is truly getting in your way, none of those things are going to work. So save yourself some time. Stop looking online for like the newest planner or the greatest new app or the Pomodoro effect or all of those. I know, okay? Stop, like right now, and get clear, okay? It's a little like group therapy, but you gotta figure out what it is that's getting in your way, and only then are anything you're going to put in that space is gonna work for you. So, a few more things. I think it's important for you guys to know where I always say, where I sit on the procrastination pendulum. And to be honest, I swing both ways. So, procrastinating doesn't necessarily make you a procrastinator. Okay, now we're all gonna raise our hands. How many of you just put things off? Right? And don't finish something you start. And guess what? You live to tell the tale. The world didn't fall down. It wasn't like a fate worse than death. It wasn't that of that much importance. It's okay. We all do that from time to time. Just because we put something off does not make us a real chronic procrastinator. Not all procrastination looks the same. You tell me. So I was at dinner last night with some of you, and it was unbelievable to meet all of you. Crazy, the things you guys are doing. Back then, I don't think half of what you're doing existed at Cornell, but that's beside the point. But one of the women at dinner mentioned, oh, I have something due tomorrow night at midnight. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you're gonna do it, right? So of course I'm gonna do it. Fine. Was she procrastinating? I don't think so. She might be. But I have something due. It's due tomorrow. I know it's there. I will get to it. Maybe I'm getting to it a little bit later than I would like to. And then there's not doing anything at all and facing like a real detrimental consequence. Do we see the difference? Major difference, guys. Okay? So not all procrastination looks the same. And just because you procrastinate does not mean you are lazy. And I write this one because my students come to me every day and say, my teachers think I'm lazy. My parents, remember, I work with kids a little bit younger than you. My parents think I'm lazy. And I always say, you go back and tell them you're not lazy, you just have a hard time sustaining effort. You're gonna write that one down. Isn't that good? I know, it's really good. My point is, doesn't make you lazy, doesn't mean you're stupid, it doesn't mean you are a failure. We all do it. It's what you do with it. And yes, there is such a thing as a functional procrastinator. There are some of you that literally need that deadline right here, like right here, to activate. Okay, my son is that way. My son is 21. He actually was at Ithaca College. Just thought I'd throw that out. Kind of. But anyway, my point is, if I say to him, E, you gotta pay, like, it's 2 weeks. He's like, I can't, what, are you kidding me? I need like that adrenaline rush. I need to like see that deadline because then I'm gonna do my best work. My juices are gonna flow. And for those of you out there that are perfectionist procrastinators, and yes, there are some of you here, this is your jam. Why? Because the more time you have, the more time you take. So if you have this much time, that whole waffling thing you do, that whole, oh, I'll edit and I'll re-edit and maybe that's wrong and I'll add another, is gone. You're like sitting down, you're uber focused, you're in flow, and you're gonna kick it out because your juices are up here. So yes, functional procrastinators are fine, and if it's not fixed, don't fix it. Not everybody agrees with me, mind you, but I agree with me, so that's okay. Okay. I don't don't believe you can cure your procrastination, but I feel you can manage it as long as you understand why and then put certain tips and tools in to do that. And then this one, setting up your environment so support your motivation can help you get into gear. Here's what I mean by this. And again, little radical. But I think you're realizing that I don't take this typical, like, here's what you do, and here are your hacks, and you know, don't check your emails we've all heard that. Here's the thing about motivation. It can be needless. You don't always have to feel motivated. I woke up this morning, I'm in a hotel room, I've got more work to do than I know what to do. It's raining out, I'm in a hotel by myself. I want to put on Netflix and pour another cup of coffee because I was not in the mood. How many of us say that all day long? Come on, guys, every hand should be up. Let's go. I want every hand. We all say it. And here's the thing, it's okay. Because if you're using your environment correctly, your environment takes the pressure off you. Your environment should be saying to you, hey, Leslie, come over here, I got you covered. I'm gonna get you motivated. Are we okay? Now, if you have questions, I'm not gonna want to derail it, but I'm chatty, so it's okay to be a little chatty. Not a lot of chatty, a little chatty. Okay. Procrastination, yes?
What do you mean by environment?
Your surroundings and people, but we're gonna do this first. So some people will say procrastination is a time management issue. To some degree it is. Some will say it's a self-regulation issue. I really believe that, meaning it is mood-based, because when we put something off we don't want to do, how do we feel in the minute it's out of our eye line? We feel good at that second. At that moment when we say, coffee and Netflix, report. So we are doing something called giving in to feeling good. And here's how that looks. All right, can you all see me? Okay, not that. Can you guys all see? All right, so here's what I want you to envision. You are walking down a road and you get to a fork. You can go right or you can go left. In your right is your happy, pretty place. For some of you, that might be your garden. For some of you, it might be bloomingdales.com. Now you know what mine is. Some of you, it might be The Bachelor. Some of you, it might be Instagram. I don't know. Whatever's your happy, pretty. Whatever makes you feel good. Okay? Maybe it's whatever. It doesn't matter. Exercise, whatever it is. And then over there, the left, what do you think's in the left? That's your dark and twisty. That's maybe where, for some of us, exercise actually lives. Maybe, okay? That's where your bills might be, okay? That might be the phone call you're dreading to make. That could be where your homework or work or lab or whatever it is you do. And here's what we say. You know, I'm really not in the mood yet to do what I need to do in that dark and twisty. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a walk on over to the Happy Pretty, and I'm gonna spend about an hour here, and I'm gonna maybe like check out what's new on Nordstrom or Pinterest or whatever the heck it is, and that's going to do what? It's gonna motivate me because I'm gonna be in what? A better mood. And then once I'm in that better mood, then I can walk on over. Yeah, okay, what do you think happens? It never happens. One Netflix turns into 3 episodes of Stranger Things, and guys, I live with you. I have a 25-year-old, I should just do this really fast. I have a 21-year-old, a 25-year-old, and I live with college students. My kids say I'm like a 50-year-old who's really like 13, not 13, like 20, because I know what you listen to, and I know what you watch, and I know your habits. But think about it. One Netflix turns into 5, you've now wasted 2 hours. And you have not even made it over there. And now you feel really bad. Because not only do you feel bad about yourself, you actually might be staring down the wrath of, let's say, a professor, maybe not a parent anymore, but a professor, a colleague, a lab partner, or something like that. What we suggest, believe it or not, if we're finding all the research is really showing, is something called time travel. What we tell you to do is pause and picture. If you are at that fork in that road and you are about to like go to the happy, I want you to say to yourself, how am I going to feel in 2 hours about myself when I've just watched 5 episodes of I don't know, flea bag, and I didn't get done what I needed to get done. How, you know what, am I going to feel? But conversely, how good am I going to feel about myself when I head into that dark and twisty and get that done? So now when I do turn on Netflix, I don't feel bad about myself. I've earned that right. So not only have you had positive reinforcement, not only you've done some time traveling, you're also rewarding yourself. Interesting, right? Okay, let's keep going. Couple of motivation things. We're going to talk about, I'm all about doing the fun. If you are a real chronic procrastinator, you have to remove all your barriers to entry, okay? For some of you, that means one sentence to write, one email to send, whatever it is. Might mean starting with the most fun thing first, or the easiest. Some of us swallow that frog, we want to do the hardest, but if you are a true procrastinator, you want to slide in real easy first, okay? Urgency. Track your completion by making it visible. This is one of my absolute favorite things that I do with my students. If they've got 4 or 5 things to do on any given day and they're sitting, I have them put paper clips in a clear container. And every time that they finish something, what do you think they do? No one? They take one out, because the goal is to see it empty. It's very visible, it's very concrete, and it's very motivating and a little game-like. Works every time. And removing your barriers to entry. The smallest thing you could do, because what we find is it's the getting started that is really difficult. That once you guys get started, you kind of stay. But it's that, so eliminate it. I remember when my son was little, I used to take like doors off the closet for him, because that was a barrier to entry for him to see what he had. He couldn't put things away. So I know I'm not telling you to do that. But whatever is your small, maybe it's going somewhere else to work, and we're going to talk about that actually I'll talk about it now. One of the things that I actually do with my college students when I first work with them is I tell them they have to go pick their places. They have to find 5 places on campus other than their dorm or apartment or a typical lounge or library, right? Like for me, it would Straight wouldn't have been included as an undergrad, because everybody went to Straight and it was like not a place to really get anything done. But 5 places that are weird or different or quirky. And for those in southern schools, it can be a tree. I don't know if anybody here was a Gilmore Girl fan. Did you ever see the episode when Rory sits at that she found her tree? But it makes sense to me. 5 places. Why? Because you need to move, guys. Moving helps to lay down learning. I want everybody in the room to say that to me right now. I told you I'm bossy. Movement helps to lay down learning, but it also helps you get activated. Not just moving of material, but moving of your body. So 5 fine places on this campus, other than your houses or apartments or a library, where you can get, and the weirder, the better. I guarantee you, once you start to see that procrastination set in, you move. Oh, I just cracked. You move, you will do that. The other thing, link it to something you love to do. Okay, I'm going to go back to what you said. There is so you have to know, a little fun fact about me. I hate doing laundry. Now, to be honest, I could have somebody do my laundry, but I hate that even more. You're going to learn all about me. So I do laundry every Monday night. Anybody want to take a venture why I do laundry every Monday night? Who said it? I am Leslie, and I am a massive Bachelor Nation fan. Okay, I love it. My fun fact is I have never missed one, ever. Not at the time, I tape it. I love it, it's my escape. You be me, you have everything, it's a great Monday night escape after a really rough day. Why do I do laundry? Because I love to watch The Bachelor. And I'm folding and I'm doing, and I don't even realize I'm doing something I don't like because I'm doing it to something I do. So if you have a garden in your backyard and you love being in there, go sit in your garden. Go sit, if you're in I know there's wine people, if you love to be among the grapes, knock yourself out. I know this is too much for you guys, but I have high school kids doing homework in the bathtub. No water. Why? Because I also work with a lot of kids with ADHD and sensory issues. The bathtub is small, cold, sensory seeking. Helps them activate. But it's fun. It's different. Whoever said, my generation, we had to sit in a room at a desk, right, with the door closed in silence. That is so old school, right? Sitting is the new smoking. Get up, move, 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 move. Find something quirky and interesting and different and do it. Okay, let's talk about time. Now, for most of you, I'm thinking if you've gotten this far and you're at Cornell in a PhD or master's program, you have some sense of time management. But for those of you that might not, and are really struggling and really faking it well, this is you. You live in two worlds. You live like in the now, like right now, like it is, I can't even say, whatever time it is. 1 o'clock right now, and that's what you focus on. And like way, way over there in Binghamton is the not now. You don't see future awareness. You don't see future time. You don't see that horizon. It's really interesting. In my world, let's take a sip. In my world, we talk a lot about organization. And in that world, we talk, people think organization, excuse me, they think space and stuff, right? Nobody thinks about time as a disorganization. But think about it. If you do not know where you sit in time, you are disorganized. I usually get an ooh and an ah. Can I get a little ooh, ooh, ooh? Think about it, right? If you don't know how long something takes, if you don't know when something is, if you don't know that you've got something a month from now that you need to be focusing on now, you are disorganized in time, and you will absolutely procrastinate. Okay, so what do? This is our mantra at Order at a Cast. I say this all day, every day. I don't care if it's to a parent, corporation, student. If you cannot see your time, you cannot learn to manage it. That's why I developed an academic planner that allows students to see all of their time, not just what they had to do, but when they had time to do it. So I need one, you're not gonna have to answer a question. I just need someone who has a watch on them and it's digital. Anybody? Okay, tell me what time it is. I'm sorry?
102.
102, great. Can you tell me, can you show me on your watch what 5 minutes from now looks like?
It's an 8. It's a 3.
But can I see it on your watch right now?
No.
Can I see 10 minutes ago? No. Did everybody hear that? He has a digital. You all have digital phones. How many time can I see on his watch? 1. And what time is that? I can see present time, right? Here's the thing about time, and I love time. I can talk about it because it's really what I do. Time is 3-dimensional. Time has a beginning, time has an end, time has a middle, time has a future, it has a past. If you can't see that, if you cannot see time move, you will never, ever get on your time. I am looking around this room. So I have a funny question. Does everybody here know what an analog clock is? Okay, you would laugh. I have parents who go, I have no idea what an analog clock is. I don't know if you can see it behind the blackboard. Can you guys see that? You can see time move on that. So here is my suggestion to all of you. I don't like to spend people's money, but I'm about to. You need to have an analog clock in every room in your house or apartment that you spend time in, especially the bathroom. And for my teenagers, I always tell the parents 2, one in the shower and one by the sink. I know it's funny, but it's true. You need an analog clock. You need to be able to see time move. Time is fluid. Like, this does not work. Well, mine does. Mine's an analog, but his doesn't work. Your cell phones are not timekeepers. Sorry, I hate to burst that bubble. But if the most important thing, I could do 1,000 things about time, but I wanted to bring the #1 thing that works, is being able to see your relationship to where you are in time all day. Now, future awareness. You need a roadmap, right? Future awareness. I need to get you on a roadmap. How do you get there? How do you see future? Interesting, right? By asking yourself these questions. Okay, I'm all about the questions. Write them down. What is your plan? It's a great question. Ask yourself, what's my plan? What's my plan if I have a massive paper due on Friday and I've got an event I have to go to on Thursday? Or what's my plan if my research lab is due Monday and I'm on a plane for the weekend or gone away? What is my plan? It forces you to think ahead. It forces future awareness. Okay, I ask kids that are 8 this question, I ask kids that are 18, I ask adults that are 80. What is your plan? Because your plan automatically puts you into future awareness. What are my priorities today? Anybody here ask themselves that question? That one, good for you who's ever nodding their head. That one word is revolutionary. Most of you will say, what do I have to do today? Nope, wrong question. What are my priorities? All of a sudden, you need to sequence, you need to prioritize, you need to figure out what I can do tomorrow, what I can do the next day. What does my future look like? Tiny word loaded with possibilities. Start asking yourself, what are your priorities? And what could get in your way? Who asks that? That's your time management piece. What else do I have going on? It's not always work. It's not always schoolwork. Maybe I have a party, a weekend away, whatever it is. You've got to be able to ask yourself that question. What could get in my way? I just want to make sure I'm like giving you what I think I am. All right, we're going to keep going. We good? All right, we're learning, everybody. Okay, next one. Here's my second favorite thing. Now, before all of you say this to me, you are not too old for timers. Some people say to me, oh, I was 8, my mother made me use a timer. She was onto something. The other thing is, some of you say timers give me anxiety. They're anxiety producing. I get it, but here's what I want you to do with timers. 2 things I want to tell you. Number 1, if you have real time management issues, a timer will be your best friend, because what a timer does is hold future time. Okay, you hold present time, right? You're in the now. That allows you to let go of the future, set it, get into flow, which we're going to talk about. Nope, it just went off. Now I've got it just told me what my future time is. Does that make sense to you all? Here's the other thing that it does. Remember that whole I'm not in the mood, external communicating, let your environment do the talking and walking for you? That's what a timer does. For some reason, we're all very programmed to do things at 4 or 4:30, right? I don't know why. I've never understood that. Why do things have to be either on the hour or the half hour? I never, ever, 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 ever set a timer for 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Why? Because it's boring, it's white noise, you will never activate on it, you will never see it. In my world, it's 17 minutes. It's 32 minutes. Why? You're now uncomfortable, all of you. And that's the point. Think about it. It's weird, right? It's different, but different is novel, and novel is fun, and fun is memorable. And that's what we want. We want something memorable, so it gives you that oomph. So you'll go, oh yeah, I gotta get going, or I gotta get started, or I gotta keep going. Does that work? Anybody do that? Anybody set for off times? Yes. The rest of you, you will now. But it really works. That 15, 20-minute thing, throw it out. It doesn't work. It's like clutter, you know? It just, you don't see it anymore. It's like the checklist when you were little that your mother put on the fridge. You know, do this every morning. I'm sure by the 10th time, you guys just walked right by it. I know. Okay, we're good? All right, so let's quickly go through some roadblocks. Okay, good, I have some time. Intellectual, environmental, and social. All right, let's keep it. Intellectual. Here's my favorite thing. Who taught you how to work? I find that interesting. I don't know if you guys do. I do. That there's an expectation that you just know how. And it goes all the way back even to studying. I always I get more kids at my doorstep because no one ever taught them how to study. And then it transitions to, no one ever taught me how to work. You know, I have young adults who are in offices and go, I don't know what to do. I was never told how to sit at a desk and do work and how to prioritize and when am I supposed to check in with a boss, right? No one ever teaches you that. What is your relationship? How do you know how to get stuff done? And do you understand? I'm going to go back to that question. And do you know what done looks like? Here's the deal. I am guessing that none of you want to be plopped down in the forest with no path, not knowing where the end is, no landmarks. Am I right? I don't know about you, but maybe some of you adventure seekers. Me? No effing way. I I want to know where I'm going, I want to know what's on the other side, and I want my points. So no matter what you're doing, whether it's writing, studying, whatever, you need to do what we call 360 learning. You start here, you look there, and you say to yourself, what does done look like? You need to picture done. That will help you get started, and that will help you keep going. Then we work backwards. What does done look like? Okay, I need 2 weeks. I need to go, I need to go to the library. Okay, I'm sorry. Now I'm really dating myself. I need to do this. I need to get this resource. I need to interview 5 sources. Do you see what I'm doing? I've now backed you out. Now you can start. But not one of you in this room should be starting anything unless you can tell me what done looks like. And I guarantee once you get that done down, you will then not only be able to start, but stay. Okay, who here knows what deep work or flow is? Good. Do you do it? I am all about the flow. I'm all about deep work. Okay, there's no magic elixir here. Unless you really find that place of yours where you can do deep flow or work, where there's no distractions, okay? It won't happen. So I don't believe you can create flow, but I believe you can create the conditions. Okay. I'm not going to go through every one of these because I think some of them are very self-explanatory, but the one that I really, really want to, believe it or not, talk about is number 1, because that is the one I feel most of you don't do. You don't really define what it is you're working on. And when I mean define, I don't mean saying to yourself, oh, I need to write that report. Is it written in poster size somewhere on a wall? Have you told your lab partner, your accountability person? Have you told your mother even? It doesn't matter, whoever's your person. Have you I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me. I have, over the years, have lost a ton of weight. And the only way I was able to do it was to tell every single person in my world. Because unless it was out there, it wasn't gonna happen. Me saying it to myself? Yeah, good luck with that. Wasn't gonna happen. You need to announce it to whoever it is, or if you don't want to announce it, you need to make it visible and visual. We're going to talk about the monotasking, work in time bursts, time over task, never task over time. Why? Let's bring you back 5 minutes. Because time has a beginning, middle, and end. You can see done. Done does not always have to be 100% done. Does that make sense to you guys? Sometimes done is, I have an hour right now to work on this. That is my done for now. But an hour is something you can see. Oh, let me just work on this before I go out to dinner. What does that mean? That's like your 10-pound weight. You can't feel it, you can't see it, you can't touch it. Okay? I wrote 45 minutes, whatever works for you. Some of you it's 30, some of it's an hour. You know what your optimum amount of time is before you lose focus. Move, move, move. Leaving your phone, we'll talk about that. Generating energy, remember I said that to you. Standing, stretching, setting up your space. Creating your do not disturb. I don't care if you have to go into a hole. I don't care if you have to close the attic door on yourself. Create your do not disturb. Put up that barrier to entry and take breaks. Anybody here do this? Does it work for you? Yeah. You got to do it. And it's done, but here's what I love about it. I've given you a plan. Because for those of you that have a hard time getting started, now you can get started. See what I mean? Okay. Here's something else. When it's time to get to work, I always write the task on a sticky and post it because that totally will help you stay focused. Okay. Do you guys all know this about, I know we all talk about multitasking, but this is true. That attention residue. It takes 24 minutes to get your attention back. If you are allowing distractions in your life, then you are being forced to multitask. Okay, for those of you that have a hard time getting started, can you see I'm all about the questions? What do I need to do to get started? So I'm taking this and I'm bringing it to center for you. What is my first step? I want you to just take that first step. That's it. If you have a really hard time getting started, that's for those. And what does done look like, which we talked about. Okay, perfect. Let's talk about your environment. Now, some of these you guys know. What I mean by that is, if I was to give you 2 places to work, if you were to walk into one office and it was just gray and dull and nothing on the, kind of like this room, to be honest. This room is so dark and, right? This room would not activate me. This room is not welcoming. This room is not saying to me, Leslie, come on in here, I got you covered. No, what I want is my office, which is white and gray and orange and has, and it's bright. And the minute I walk by it, it says, Leslie, oh Leslie. And what it does is it takes that burden of motivation off of me, and my surroundings allow me to be motivated. Okay, we're gonna run through some of these very quickly because I think some of these you probably know. Where you work is everything. If you need light and sun and grass, because even for those of you that have ADHD and executive dysfunction, seeing grass helps you activate. Turn your desk around and point it to the window. I don't care if you think you're going to be rude to someone. If that's what you need, you do it. Okay? Workspace and placement. Do you need a yoga ball? Do you need a standing desk? Anything. Yoga ball, remember yoga balls? Right? Any of that. Visual stimuli. Maybe you need art on the wall. Maybe you need color on the wall. Maybe you need photos of, old vintage, posters, whatever it is. Create that space that's going to create that motivation for you. Does everybody know what I mean by tactile accessories? Okay, I'm a pretty girl. I don't mean like I'm pretty, meaning I like pretty things. I like notepads, I like pens. I'm all about my pens. Very territorial. Anybody else? Like I can't do something. I always say I can't even read if I don't have my pen in my hand. Come on, some of you have to be. Who here is that? Yeah, I'm a pen girl, such a pen girl. And even in my world, my family, even though my kids don't live with me anymore, there were pens that were on my desk, and then there were pens that were in a drawer. You did not come and take the pens on my desk. Yeah. But I like pretty files. The color and pretty speak to me. It activates me. It makes me want to be there, right? I mean, I was like the kid, new school supplies. Please, throw me in a Staples and pick me up 5 hours later. I'm your girl. But don't laugh. For some of you, that is so necessary, right? It's like that visual, that like, oh my God, that visual reaction to like new binders and new paper and color. It's what stimulates you and motivates you. I know we're laughing, but it's true. Fascination, it's a true story. I had a young woman who was in love with George Clooney years ago, and she made a poster board of George Clooney. And hey, whatever works. And every time she had to do something she did not want to do you know what she did? She carried George Clooney around with her. And it motivated her. So knock yourselves out. Whatever gets you, okay, keeping it clean, whatever it is. Maybe it's back home if you're here from far away. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's Bradley Cooper. I don't know. Whatever it is, whatever you're fascinated with, it will help you get motivated. Headphones and white noise and organization. Okay, the debate is out on that one. Some of you will tell me I need mess. I need it for my creativity. Then fine. But determine whether or not you are a revealer or a concealer. Are you a filer or a piler? Figure it out and make it happen. I cannot have things around me. It's overwhelming. If I'm working on something, everything else needs to be on. Okay, I am definitely not a revealer, and I am definitely not a piler. You can imagine, okay? But some of you might be, and that's okay. You need to figure it out. Okay, this is my funnest thing I like to talk about. Who here listens to music? Love it. Okay, does it work for you? No. Some of you, here's what I'm gonna tell you about music. Music helps you plan, write this down, attend, and initiate, if done correctly. So here's what I have all of my students do. Every one of my students makes a playlist. Not a 30-minute playlist, not a 45-minute playlist, a 37-minute playlist. Remember, I'm all about the odd. And they listen to that playlist. Now, some of them have one playlist for everything. Some have playlists for different subjects. You know what I mean? Like calculus is like, woohoo, rock and roll. Maybe, a little quieter. Doesn't matter. So you can do it either way. You can have one playlist the whole time, or you can have different for different things you do. The point of it is you're going to listen to that playlist only when you need to get activated, okay? Think about it. How do I get activated to exercise? I click on my playlist, I hear Donna Summer, I hear Gloria Gaynor, I am a girl of the 80s, and I start moving. But But that is the only thing I listen to because it's like Pavlov's dog. I hear the music and I get activated. That is what I want for you. I want you to hear that music now. Here are my rules. I don't want you to be listening to new music. So if like Dawes just came out with a new album, I don't want that on your playlist because you're going to be paying attention to learning it. It's got to be old music. I don't care what kind of music, hip hop, it doesn't matter. I have someone who has the whole score to Hamilton. That's what they listen to. I have other people that listen I don't even know. You know what I'm saying, I'm sure you do. But my point is, it has to be music that you do know, because it needs to become white noise. But here's what's amazing about music. We talk about music all the time as a way to activate you. But what we don't talk about it is as a way for you to keep time. What I hear from my students all the time when they hear the same playlist is they go, you know what, Les? When I hear Dawes, I know I'm 20 minutes in. When I hear the Avett Brothers, I know I'm rounding to the end. Now you can hear my taste in music, right? Or I hear Tedeschi Trucks, I know I'm like at the end. But that's amazing, because what that allows you guys to do is pause and pace. There's all that psychological reward. I can hang on for 2 more minutes. Come on, we all know we do that, right? But if you don't see where you are in time, then you can't do that. Music allows that. If you're hearing the same song, all of a sudden it becomes a timekeeper. It's utterly brilliant. So for those of you that are doing music, awesome. If you're not doing it this way, try it. And for those of you who aren't, I would try it. But the other thing about it, it's portable. So that to me is one of my favorite things. I mean, I work with younger students. I'm like, there's no excuse if you're your grandma's 80th. You got it, you've got your music on you. But the timekeeping piece is, wrong thing, is utterly brilliant. All right, got a few more. Okay, who here has a work ritual? Guys, I'm gonna say this again. Everything we are talking about is brain-based. So all of you I know, if you exercise, before you're gonna go out for that 5-mile run, you're gonna warm your body up, right? You're not just gonna start running, you're gonna stretch, you're gonna do. It's the same thing with your brain. Before you sit down to work, you need to warm your brain. You need to reattach it to the work that you are going to do. You need to tether it. I want you to remember those words. Reattach, tether. In essence, you need a work ritual. So these are just things that my students do. These are things that have been pulled together over the years. So I know what mine, I have my work ritual. But anytime you are about to sit down, if you think you can just go sit down and say, okay, I'm gonna get started now, you are dead wrong. That brain thing, I remember the guy remember the little brain guy? Okay, that little brain guy, before he can do all those reps, needs to stretch, right? He needs to warm his body up. I know, but it's true, okay? That's that. You gotta warm that brain. You gotta reattach and retether, okay? So for those of you that have it, awesome. For those of you who don't, it's gonna help you tremendously. And the one thing about rituals, they become habit forming, so you don't have to think about it, okay? All right. Okay, we're gonna play a little game. Who has an iPhone on them? Pull it out. Never thought I'd say that, right? I want you to pull out your iPhones. And I want you to go to settings. I think you all know where I'm going here. Everybody got their phones? If you have an iPhone, I do not know if you have an Android. I want you to scroll down to where it says battery. Battery. Tell me when you're there. Click on battery. Scroll down again, and you're going to see the last 24 hours or the last 10 days. I want you to go on the last 10 days. Everybody there yet? That is going to tell you how much time you spend on your phone, on all of your apps. It will tell you that you spent, 20% of my time this week on Instagram, Twitter, I don't know, pick your things, people. The data doesn't lie. You want to see how much time you're really spending on your phone? Isn't this cool? No, because it's not easy. Imagine when I'm working with a student and I go to the parent, pull up the phone. That's how you're going to see it. Can't argue with the data. Do you guys all know where you are? Battery scrolling down. Did everybody find it? That's how you're going to know. This is an eye-opener. You can see the last 24 hours or the last. So I'm not even going to sit here and like argue with you. You guys are smart people. You know what that has to happen. Type, tap, swipe, click. This is not even your emails. This is how much on an average daily you are touching your phone, friends. This is your age group. How crazy is that? That is our average focus time now, 40 seconds. I'm amazed that you're all still here. Average email check is 74 times a day, and when your phone is on the table, it reduces your cognitive performance. In other words, it makes you stupid. So, it's not enough just to turn your phone over. You need to hide that phone. You need to bury that phone. You need to put that phone so far away you can't even smell it or touch it if you really want to get busy. These are for those of you who say, I procrastinate, and then looked on your phone and found that you've been on your phone for about 40 hours this week. I have no magic elixir for you other than this. This is when I get bossy and a little you-know-whatty. I can't. Got to put it away. But this is sobering. All the studies now, your phone is on the table, not even on, but on the table. It still makes you stupid. Got to put it away. Okay. So here's my activity for you. Not now, when you go home. I told you, if you don't understand your whole way of working, your whole way of being, your whole way of processing information, what you need, energy level, I need to do things spontaneously, you will never get over your procrastination. So on my site, where those slides are, there is this PDF for you. It is something that I call your personal productivity profile. Now, you can change the topic, so we have it as daily homework, studying paper projects, if you want to change it to something else. What I have every student who works with me, every student I work with when I speak, is I have them do something like this. This is your magic elixir. It will take you through questions that you probably have not ever thought about. Things like, do I need to make a plan, or am I more of a spontaneous kind of guy? Do I like quiet? Do I need noise to activate? Do I like to multitask, meaning do work on 2 subjects at a time? That is not multitasking in the way we know it, meaning there are kids that tell me, I'm doing math, I'm doing math, I'm no longer doing math. I'm doing math, I'm doing math, I'm doing science. See what I mean? Switching subjects keeps our brains activated. I want you to do that. That's my homework assignment for you. And here's my challenge. If any of you in this room want me to look at it, you can send it to me. I will look at it, and I will email you back some questions or some insights, things of that nature. I will do that for each of you, only because it's Cornell and I love you people. But this is going to help you, because when you are in the middle of the year and life sucks and you just can't get activated anymore, you pull this out and you're like, oh, that's right, I like to do this. Okay? It's that 5-pound weight. Make sense? All right, you can find this on my site, and these are some of the questions. Okay, I think I have like 2 minutes for questions, or 5 minutes. I'm going to stick around, but does anybody have any questions? Yes. Here's my feeling about Google Calendar. I'm a company that sells academic planners, and there is a reason. Because for you to truly see your time as a whole, I believe you need to see it on paper. I'm fine with the Google Calendar as long as you also, if you are really a time challenged, I don't know if you are, and really have hard time seeing all of your things at once, like everything you have to do in one space, then I would rather you also be using a paper planner. But if paper is too difficult for you, then I'm all about the Google Calendar. You got to do how you learn best. Make sense? Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
What's the website for your planning?
So if you go on to orderooks.com, in the nav bar it'll say shop. Click there, it'll take you to the product side of our company. Anybody else? All right, well, I'm here. I'll stick around. Thank you, guys. I'm so happy you stuck around.